Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Okay, so the last couple of slides were a little bit dense in terms of the intellectual challenge that they had. And they are so fundamental and so important, so that's why we need to spend some time on them too. Because again, we're going to refer to them a lot in the future, and we need to base a lot of other concepts, rules, and statements on these different concepts of definition of knowledge, levels of perception, and these three categories of ahkam or rulings that we make in our life. So, can anyone try to explain why do we have these three different rulings? What is the purpose of this categorization? Do we need them in life? Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say that it kind of helps us understand the wisdom behind certain things.
Can you give an example?
There probably isn't like a very important reason for us to know why, like, for example, certain rulings are in Islam. But it's just, I guess it helps us.
Okay. Can you give an example?
For example, like dating.
Okay.
It's not good because it can result in certain things or whatever.
Okay, you can get to that through this,
Maybe.
like these categories. Okay, no, you're right. That's one actually benefit or one actually part of the wisdom behind it. That's true. Okay, any other purposes for this categorization?
Code of conduct. It's the three basic pillars, or principles that you build the way you act every day, the way you behave, your code of conduct. If it's legal from an Islamic perspective, if it's rational to do, and if it's customary.
Okay. Other thoughts?
I think it helps to clarify why we make certain decisions. For example, lying, for example, I can rationalize saying the reason why I lied is because I was saving my life or whatever, or it's good for you. So it's just to clarify things.
Okay. How can we use these things in religion?
I think somebody of knowledge would have to use it to come up with the hukum of whatever situation he's trying to. Because the hukum for me could be different than the hukum for you. Or the hukum of based on where I live or my lifestyle or whatever. That's the hukum that's going to be. But somebody has to know me and my life and basically.
Okay,
There's
more.
things that we can, the hukum is clear, but you can't change it. And there's things that, each fatwa could be different.
Okay, so more importantly, how can we use them in arguments? How can you use them in discussions? If you're discussing anything with any person, how can you use these things to build an argument?
Just basically to categorize which one have the strongest evidence and which ones have the weakest evidence and which ones have the backup, something to back up.
Okay. Do you realize that one of the biggest problems of failing arguments or failing discussions basically is because we are not able to define the point of disagreement, right? Or the disagreement is pointless, right? Sometimes you spend 1 hour discussing something with a person and you both are talking about two different things. Or you both are trying to reach two different conclusions. This is one of the most effective ways of having an deductive and productive argument or discussion. So if you want to discuss something with a person about why God exists, right? And all of what he thinks of is scienticism. And all what he thinks of is science. And all of his mind is going around the customary rulings while you are trying to rationalize the concept of why God exists. And you're not on the same ground, right? You're trying to establish rationally why God exists. And you want to build deductive arguments that whatever that we want to prove it. that God is beginningless and that the universe is created, for example, it had a beginning, so that's why we can't prove God, for example. Right? And he's not talking about this, he's talking about something else to scientifically prove his denial of God. And you keep discussing for hours. And you didn't reach anywhere. You will never reach anywhere anyway. Why? Because it's pointless. The point of disagreement, one of the beautiful concepts in tradition, تحرير محل النزاع. They call it this way. What is the point of disagreement? Why do we disagree and what we are disagreeing? If you're not able to define this, no point of discussion. Stop talking. Because there is no point, for sure. This helps you do this. When you define the realities of things, and we're having part of the course, inshallah, we talk about the haqa'iq, the essences of things. How to define the essences of things? Or do you believe that things have essences or not? Because some people don't, right? Some people do not believe in realities. They think there is no reality, right? Things are things because we perceive them this way. They do not exist themselves. So in order for you to have this mutual ground with the person you're discussing with, and to define what is the point of disagreement, why do we disagree, and what we are disagreeing, and then you can have the discussion. This will help you a lot do this. That we are trying to rationalize this concept, or we are trying to get a customary proof or evidence for this, or we are referring to an Islamic law. So a lot of people, for example, who deny God, and they want to discuss it with you as a Muslim, they would tell you, okay, why do you guys think people will go to the hellfire if they do not pray? And you just fall in this trap and you keep trying to rationalize to him why people will be punished if they do not pray. Okay, but that's not his problem, right? What's important for him to know about the hellfire or not? He doesn't believe in God himself, right? Why would he go that way? You find people who deny the existence of God, and they would talk to you, okay, Al-Bukhari has fake hadith. Why are you discussing the Bukhari? You do not believe in the God, and you do not believe in the Quran, and do not believe in the Prophet, and you do not believe in his Sunnah, and now you talk about Al-Bukhari, which is one book that has multiple traditions from the Prophet. What is the point of having the discussion? Right? There is no point. But a lot of people just go for the discussion, and we spend a lot of time on these things, and you do not reach any conclusion. Why? Because there is no point. You need to define why do you disagree. This is one of the importances of having these different categories. That do we want to have a rational ruling, or customary ruling, or shari'i ruling, or legal ruling? And we'll refer to them more, inshallah. Do you have any questions about these categories?
Is it fair to assume that rational and legal cannot be subjective, while customary it can be?
Rational can be.
This is a general conclusion. So rational and legal cannot be subjective, while customary can.
In general, yes. Not in all examples or details, but in general, yes. But science is not all subjective too. So the concept of subjective or not is not really like it's not a prevailing concept to use it to apply it on these things, right? So rational for sure is not subjective. Legal is not subjective. That if you believe in the authority, you need to follow it. So it's not subjective from that perspective. And then if you talk about the customary, not all science is subjective, and not all is absolute. Okay. Okay. So any questions about these categories? Get back to the recording and you will know. Okay? Because we're running out of time. Okay, so and then we have multiple etiquettes of seeking knowledge. You need to know the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, and we'll leave this part for you to read in the slides, because just like common sense advice about the etiquettes and the adab and the manners that everyone needs to acquire in seeking knowledge. And then the barriers to seeking knowledge, like for example, a corrupt intention will be a barrier between you and knowledge. That's so important. We'll send you the PowerPoint, inshallah. Arrogance is one of the main problems of seeking knowledge. People get arrogant so quick. If you do not know how to humble down, that's a big problem. And the problem is people, the more they increase in knowledge, the more they increase in their arrogance. So they become more arrogant, right? Which is a very problem, and it's unfortunately one of the characteristics of the modern education too. Absurdity is one of the problems of seeking knowledge too. And I think that's a common sense thing. In two different meanings of absolute or conventional. These things are also considered to be barriers on your way to acquire that knowledge. Again, I'm not covering them all, but all the stories and examples we give all the time, they are addressing these issues. And then the last thing is, what do you do after seeking knowledge? And that's an Islamic concept. You do not seek knowledge merely because you want to seek knowledge. You seek knowledge because you're responsible for applying and acting on this knowledge, and you are communally responsible for delivering this knowledge to others. Right? So when you learn something, you are responsible for applying, for acting. And then after you act, you need to deliver, you need to teach, you need to convey that message to people. And that's purely an Islamic responsibility. You do not just acquire or seek knowledge because you just want to be knowledgeable. But I want people to point out to me and say, that's a knowledgeable person. In Islam, and that's why the Islamic concept always has to be there. Among the first group of people that would enter the hellfire is a alim. Right? Is a scholar. Even alim of religion, by the way, a scholar in religion, he'll be among the first few people who would enter the hellfire. أول من تسعر بهم النار. Someone who's a scholar in religion, and he's the first one to be in the hellfire. Why? What did he do with this knowledge? Did he act on this knowledge or not? And did he take the responsibility of teaching people and delivering the knowledge to people or not? It's not only just I'm seeking knowledge, because seeking knowledge for the sake of seeking knowledge only is not a good intention. Seeking knowledge to brag about it, or to just sound like a knowledgeable person in front of people, or to seek people respect, or to seek a social position, or to seek even a life position that would give you money or authority or respect by people. All these corrupt intentions, that's not the way or the reason knowledge should be sought in Islam. Right? So all these things will corrupt your intention, will ruin your hereafter. You might get a good life, but you are ruining your hereafter, which is not the goal for a Muslim. Why? Because the center in our thought is the wahi. And when the wahi is always there, and the wahi is telling you everything has to relate back to God, فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. That's the meaning of اقرأ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الَّذِي خَلَقْ. Read by the name of your Lord. If you're relating everything you do, everything you learn to God at the end of the day, you know that why you're seeking knowledge. You know that you need to act and knowledge, and then you need to teach and you need to deliver this knowledge to people. Today we were supposed to finish this is still from the slides for the first time. So we're supposed to finish the first one and start the other one, but we're a little bit behind. But inshallah next time we'll start the second lecture, which is Introduction to Fiqh. It's more maybe practical. Today was a little bit theoretical and deeply intellectual a little bit. Next time it's much more practical. We'll take some little introductions about definition of fiqh, Islamic law, and then definition of multiple categories of fiqh, and then we'll talk about the concept of differences of opinions in fiqh, madahib, the schools of thought. Why do we have multiple opinions? How do we seek fatwa? How do we seek a religious opinion on things? All these questions that people ask a lot all the time, we'll try to address them and to discuss them, inshallah. Next time will be the second lecture about Introduction to Fiqh, inshallah. Any questions before we conclude? Anything sounds confusing? That means you've understood everything, right? You've grasped everything I said. Right? Yeah.
Even from the slides, image or something like that, the slides.
What?
The slides. Can they have the slides?
Yeah, we sent those slides already. This one, we already sent them. Okay. Who didn't get these slides? Who didn't get these slides? So that means you didn't register, right? Okay, can you please check before you go that your email is with the brothers, and then they will send it to you. So this one was already sent, and inshallah next time we'll send you the new one, inshallah. Okay, Mustafa? Yeah, okay. So please, before you go, make sure that you have your email registered. What? Okay, طيب. Please, 1 second, please. 1 second, please. Okay, next time, please, sisters, just one last thing. One last thing, brothers, sorry. So this suggestion is not from me, it's from the team. So they want to make a quiz next week. Next week, nobody's gonna come, I know, right? There's gonna be 5 people here. Okay, so it's not really, it's not really a test or a quiz. It's gonna be an online thing that will be sent to you through email, and you just can, like you can do it at home. Use Sheikh Google, use PowerPoint, use your own self-knowledge, use whatever you want and answer it, right? Okay, so will be sent next week? Okay, will be sent next week, and then you take 1 week to submit the answer, inshallah. Okay. But don't worry, you're not going to be quizzed here, so you're welcome to come, don't worry. So next week you can join us, inshallah. Okay, jazakumullah khairan, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.